Wow, huge stuff block. One massive ace for that team. That is the best thing we've seen all day. Woo! Pretty much as loud as I'll get. Alrighty, thank you.
Champions League gibt es nur in der SCHARRena. Jetzt gibt es nebenan zwar tatsächlich auch Champions League, aber der erfolgreichere Sport, der wird tatsächlich hier gespielt. Herzlich willkommen, liebe Volleyball-Freunde, zum Champions League. Ein Auftakt, zumindest Halbauftakt hier und wir in der Minute an Savino Del Bene, SCANDICCI und die italienischen Gäste aus Florenz. Herzlich willkommen. Heute brauchen wir eure Unterstützung noch viel mehr als sonst. Und ich weiß, Champions League-Abende sind besondere Abende in der SCHARRena. Und deshalb haben wir nicht nur Gastsparen, deshalb ist nicht nur unser Sponsor des Tages heute die Allianz. Herzlichen Dank dafür, sondern wir haben auch ein tolles Gewinnspiel. Und zwar müsst ihr einfach ein bisschen in der Halle umschauen und die Codes scannen und dann gibt es ein Lösungswort, das sich, glaube ich, ganz schnell ergibt. Geht einfach an die Allianz stand. Im Foyer, informiert euch dort. Ist was ganz Besonderes und tolle auch VIP-Tickets für unsere Mädels zu gewinnen, die wir jetzt auf jeden Fall erstmal ganz herzlich begrüßen. Also, wo seid ihr? Fans von Allianz MTV STUTTGART. 100 Leute für unser Team!
Don't take on camera these things.
It's funny because every time I smile, hello. Bravo. Eerste?
Die gaan terug, ze wisten ik dit kan.
Ja.
Nee, toch? Jij komt je avancer comme ça maintenant?
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the CEV Champions League 2025. We are in the group stage competition. Today we have Allianz MTV Stuttgart of Germany taking on Savino Del Bene Scandicci of Italy. My name's Key Michael. As always, I'm excited to be your host for today's matchup. But before we get started, the teams have just arrived a few moments ago. These were visuals from maybe about an hour and a half ago when the teams will have arrived into the gym here in the SCHARRena Arena in Stuttgart, Germany. A little bit chilly outside, as you can see from the jackets, a little thicker than these Italian players might be used to. Some players catching up. Gardi, one of the players that everyone will know pretty well if you've been following these two teams. But this is actually the first time these teams are facing off, not only in this competition, but ever.
First of all, we don't need to talk around stuff. Scandicci is one of the best teams in the world, having some of the best players in the world. It was not a lot of time to focus on Scandicci because we played Cup on Saturday, but all players are important. They have good strikers from both sides, from both pins, especially Antropova from the opposite side. Yeah, we need to get some control about some of them in some moments and use our chances when we get them, because it's not going to be a lot of them.
It's really a big pleasure. For me, it's the first time in Stuttgart, but I check a lot of matches and I appreciate a lot the supporters. It's a really big place to play volleyball. So thinking to the match, we know that, okay, the first match, Stuttgart doesn't make the best match in Poland, but we know that they they play differently at home. So the focus must be really, really high from the beginning of the match, because for sure they will try to aggress us, especially with the service. So step by step, we have a big target, but for sure Stuttgart has the same.
Well, just a few words there from the coaches, Konstantin Bitter of Stuttgart and Marco Gaspari of Scandicci. He is in his first year with this team. Previously with Milano for 4 seasons, knows high-level volleyball, as does Miss Crystal Rivers. They're in Stuttgart's gym, in the locker room, preparing for the match. Now, we mentioned that none of them played for the other team, so to speak. So there's no extra emotions in that regard for the players today, but what they will have is that feeling of emotion of this big match, the added honor of wearing that CEV Champions League crest across your jersey. It is one of the best feelings in international volleyball. I can tell you, I've been there a couple of times, and it's something that these players will hold dear. There's the Scandicci locker room, everyone just doing those last-minute notes. Of course, all those pieces of paper were prepared by the staff. Those are the scouting reports that tell you pretty much every player on the other team, who you're going to watch out for, what angles you want to cut off, who are your primary targets. Britt Herbots, who you just saw on your screen there, certainly one of them for Stuttgart's side. Brenda Castillo returning to Scandicci after taking some time off. She's one of the best liberos in the game, and there's going to be a lot of players that you will recognize on both these two sides. Certainly lots to pay attention to if you're a volleyball fan. Now, this is the second pool of Match E for both these two teams, as the two captains, there's Britt Herbots and Rusa Koskelo, with the referees Marie-Catherine Boulanger of Belgium and Sinisa Ovuka of Bosnia and Herzegovina just moments ago. Well, if you're just joining us, welcome to the CEV Champions League 2025. We are in the group stage competition. We have Allianz MTV Stuttgart of Germany taking on Savino Del Bene Scandicci of Italy. My name's Key Michael. As always, I am so excited to host you for this matchup. Well, this is the second match of Pool E. Both these two teams have already played one match. Scandicci swept CSO Voluntari of Romania on Wednesday of last week, as you can see from the standings there. Scandicci finds themselves on top. However, for the other side, Stuttgart lost to, now apologies for any mispronunciations here, but is BKS Bostik ZGO Bielsko-Biała of Poland. They lost 3-1 on Thursday, and that is a mouthful of volleyball. But we are just getting started. Each of these two teams will play each other team in their pool twice, once home and once away, between now and the end of January. MTV Stuttgart, they were founded in 2007. They're competing in this Champions League main tournament for the 7th time overall, and actually the 6th time in the last 7 seasons, if that makes sense as well. They were only absent 1 year in those last 7 seasons, but the best result for the German side was reaching the quarterfinals on 4 occasions. That includes last season when they were eliminated by Fenerbahce of Istanbul. Scandicci, who are on your screen at the moment, made it out of the group stage in all previous 4 participations. However, the Italian side lost all 6 matches in the quarterfinals, except for their fixtures against Zajabashi in the 2020 quarterfinals, which were canceled, of course, due to the global pandemic. Scandicci were one of 3 teams to win all 6 matches in last season's Champions League group stage. The other 2, of course, being Conegliano and Fenerbahce. Well, Stuttgart is having a great domestic season so far. They won the league last season. That earned them the bid to get into this competition. That's a great start already. Then they opened up this season winning the Super Cup. They won that 3-1 over Schwerin. Crystal Rivers on your screen, a big part of that win. She is one of the big players to keep your eyes out on Stuttgart's side. They have since gone 6 of the 7 regular season matches, winning all of them, just losing to Potsdam in a 3-0 sweep. They have at the helm coach Konstantin Bitter, who's been the head coach since last season. Stuttgart also, as coach mentioned in the pre-match interview, they won that DVV Cup on Saturday. That was a 3-0 win over Binder Blaubaren TSV Flacht. That's a highly German name. However, if you're wondering what TSV stands for, it's actually pronounced TSV in German. I speak a couple words here and there. Maybe you're a soccer fan of TSV Munich, for example. It stands for Turn- and Sportverein, which means gymnastics and sports club. You're welcome. Now, back to the regularly scheduled volleyball programming. Stuttgart's American outside hitter Crystal Rivers, who we just saw moments ago, she scored 26 points in this team's Champion League opener this season, and that wasn't enough to take the W. However, it was certainly enough to make a statement to their Italian opponents today. She is the one to stop. In addition, Stuttgart have 2 Dutch Olympic players in their outside hitter Jolien Nolema and libero Florian Riesing. Another former player in the Italian league for Novara she used to play for Novara, now plays for Stuttgart, obviously. Spanish middle Lucia Varela Gomez. Keep an eye on her. She'll be adding height at the net, in addition to Canadian Kelsey Veltman. Now, Finnish libero Rusa Koskelo, who you saw in the warm-up in that coin toss. She's been with the team since 2018. Well, the captain, obviously, helped the team achieve some recent success, such as winning the last 2 seasons and the last 2 Super Cups. In terms of Scandicci on the Italian side, there's Britt Herbots, who is certainly going to be known for her ace serves, one of the strongest servers certainly in the game today. Scandicci finished 2nd in the league last year, behind only Conegliano, who are the defending champions of the Champions League. They're competing in Pool A this season, but here Scandicci have gone 5 wins and 2 losses so far in the domestic season. So in the Italian league, that's what they've done. They've dropped only to Conegliano and to Busto Arsizio. And in their last match, it was a 3-0 win over Bergamo, where Scandicci had almost double the blocks of their opponent with 13, and they also had 5 aces, of course. I mentioned, keep an eye on Katarina Antropova for those aces, as well as Britt Herbots. Now, it's no surprise the top scorer for Scandicci is that Iceland-born Italian opposite Katarina Antropova. But here's a look at who you're going to be keeping your eyes on for Stuttgart's side. Rivers, the number 13, probably likely to be one of the top scorers. Belgian player Martin, number 11, in the opposite as well. Scandicci, well, Antropova, certainly she scored 125 kills so far for her side. The next closest is a tie between 43 kills between Belgian Britt Herbots and American Lindsay Ora Rudden. Stuttgart taking on Scandicci in Pool E of the Champions League. Antropova, one of the biggest presences in the defense at the net. She's almost tied in blocks with both middle blockers, Italian Linda Nuakalor and Brazilian Ana Carolina da Silva, known worldwide as Carol. That's who you're going to hear her referred to as throughout the program. There are several names you might recognize if you tuned into the Paris Olympics this summer, including Antropova, of course, who took home that gold medal with Italy, but Carol medaled bronze with Brazil this summer after claiming silver in Tokyo. Maja Ognjanovic was present with Serbia. They had a disappointing exit in 7th place, but already has a silver and bronze from Rio and Tokyo in her pocket, so no love lost there. Well, Scandicci, no stranger to German opponents. They've beaten the German club Schwerin 5 out of 6 times in this competition. They won against Potsdam in both the Challenge Cup in 2022 and the CEV Cup in 2023. Now, I'll quickly step aside for the Champions League anthem. Welcome everyone to the Champions League. Ooh, it gives me goosebumps when I hear that anthem. Playing in the Champions League, one of the greatest honors for a volleyball player in their career. So all these players will be highly excited and motivated for a big match ahead. Well, on Scandicci's side, Coach Gaspari said of Stuttgart in a pre-match interview, they are a team with good physicality. Technically skilled players like the Spanish outside hitter Maria Segura. He's seen her in the Italian league already. He knows she's going to try and exploit the hands of the block. At the same time, they have opposite player like Rivers, very powerful in attack, he said. And the team also have important height in the middle. That's what he's looking out for. And what you can look out for are these two referees, Marie-Catherine Boulanger of Belgium and Sinisa Ovuka of Bosnia and Herzegovina. And once we've met the referees, you know we were just moments away from meeting the team. This is an important match between both these teams. Gaspari himself on the match there on your screen. He knows this is an important match. The goal for Scandicci, as with all the contenders in this competition, is to get through the group stage, and you got to do it by winning here. So let's just meet the starters, shall we? Britt Herbots coming out first for Scandicci. She will be followed by Maja Ognjenovic in the setting spot. Number 12, Kara Bajima of the USA. No surprise there. Carol of Brazil will be in the middle blocking. Katarina Antropova, who we mentioned in the pre-show as one of the best opposites, certainly on court today, if not in the world. Brenda Castillo rounding it out in that libero jersey. And on Stuttgart's side, get ready to meet the home team. Number 3, Milana Bozic, setter of also Bosnia and Herzegovina, like the referee. We got Brilland Morissette, middle blocker of the USA. Crystal Rivers coming out, the American opposite. Julian Knolema, outside hitter of the Netherlands. There's Rusla Koskelo in the libero jersey. Hopefully we'll get a confirmation of that starting lineup. For anyone that I've missed, Maria Segura Paredes, looks like she's getting the starting nod as well. 32-year-old outside hitter from Spain. So the crowd getting into it. They are ready to go, fired up, as Coach Gaspari mentioned. This is one of the hottest gyms in Germany. Kelsey Veltman in the middle blocking spot. There are the starters for Scandicci. Head coach Marco Gaspari, again in his first season with this team. He was at the helm of Milano for 4 seasons, so no stranger to Champions League, obviously. Konstantin Bitter as well. He's in his 2nd year as head coach and also coached Germany's under-23. That whistle is blown, and you know what that means. Stuttgart on the left, taking on Scandicci on the right in the white. It's Germany versus Italy. It is Champions League Pool E. These two teams facing off for the first time ever. Well, it's well known that the Italian league is by and large a stronger league than Germany, and given their strength of Scandicci's roster, it does look like this is Scandicci's match to win on paper, but there is always heightened emotion, so we will see what we are in store for. First 2 points already on the board for Scandicci. However, we might have a challenge. Looking for a touch there off the block. It's the number 33, Maria Segura Paredes. She's been with Stuttgart since 2020. Looked for those hands, got them. Brilland Morissette of the USA will be the first server then. Second server, technically. But it's 1-1. Referee Ovuka just making sure all things are taken care of at the scoring table. We are in Stuttgart's home gym here. Anything could happen between these two teams. But of course, the focus is on just getting through this group stage, just focusing point by point, as the coaches mentioned in the pre-match interviews. Coach Gasperi, patience looking a little thin, worn a little thin after the long trip from Italy to Germany. Back at it, ready to go. And immediately, Stuttgart losing another point to the Italian side. Quick through the middle, that's an excellent choice by Ognjenovic. Firing her middle in Dibajins. Dutch middle blocker. Antropova with the first ace of the night. Surprised? Not really. We talked about her as one of the go-to servers. She will continue to be. She's got the most aces for her side in the domestic league. Heavy arm. That ball dropping straight down the middle. Good defensive play on Scandicci's side. Roll over the block. Right in front of the libero goes Bajima. 4-1 lead. Another tough serve. Oh, almost another ace. Not yet, though. Free ball coming back, pretty much just as good. Bajima blocked and no cover in sight. That is a win for Stuttgart to get Antropova off the line. Massive goal achieved there, and it's a late flying block from Kelsey Veldman. That brings Rivers to the line. She's got a solid flat floater. It's a freebie coming back. Stuttgart with a chance. Off the hands, touched, crept up by Herbots. An excellent scrambling defense from the Belgian in the backcourt. That is what you know Britt for. She will keep the ball alive at all costs. She's just looking at her teammates going, hang on a sec. Someone's got to get that up, and I can see the confusion there. There was a libero, a setter, and an opposite. I have to say, between the libero and setter there, not Antropova to take that second ball, but communication first and foremost. Bajima, 26-year-old outside hitter, back to the service line. Rivers from the pipe, she's dug. Another chance, and it's Antropova again off the block. Get used to her name. Antropova standing at 2 meters and 2. The opposite, Italian, born in Iceland, a big part of this Italian national team now, just sometimes getting less of an opportunity to swing behind Paola Gonu, but certainly a player you'll keep your eyes on here tonight. Seguda gets another point on the board for Stuttgart, heads back to serve. She has played in Italy herself, in Brescia, Cuneo, Monza, Trentino, Olbia. These players will know her well for that career. Cross ball behind, that's Doug. Going again, Ognjenovic from off the net, pushes it flat and tight. Rivers gets a bit of space on the net. What a cover. Going again, this time outside. Herbots unleashes, that's Doug. Antropova off the block. Gets it right back, and so does Stuttgart. Hands over the net. Veltman finding a heap of joy at the net at the moment. Well, we saw her close up to the block a little earlier. This time she's in place. Gets those arms finishing back to the center of the court. That's how you get a big stuff block against one Antropova. Segura again, just touches the tape. Oh, big pickup. Ball off the tape and out of bounds. Some joy again for Scandicci this time. Nalama doing the right things, just luck falling the wrong way. Bajans. Well, Stuttgart certainly staying close here. Not for long. Ognjenovic has, well, some other ideas about Stuttgart keeping pace. Ognjenovic, the 40-year-old Serbian setter, already a 3-time Olympian. Defense in the backcourt. Ball's up on the outside. The roll, find it. Just over and down, and that's a smart move from the now experienced Britt Herbots. Rivers tips it. Coming back. And again, on the floor, a diving sprawl attempt. Not enough. Nolema, 21-year-old outside hitter. She's blocked, was blocked, or wasn't blocked. She swung that ball out earlier, so this time making sure it lands on the pink. Božić, tough serve. Antropova on the outside, nowhere to go but straight down into the block. Antropova a couple of times blocked. That's not common for her. She's on the outside though. This is not her comfortable position. Certainly can use her height on that one. She does keep Scandicci at a 2-point lead. Herbots back to the line, 25-year-old Belgian outside hitter. Played last season in Scandicci, but plenty of experience before that. Firenze, Novara, Busto. A household name in the Italian league, but in the German league, one of the best players and has continued to be for many, many years. Crystal Rivers in Stuttgart since 2018. Played one season in Czech, also in Béziers. That's where I came across her the first time, but she's been comfortably living here and enjoying for at least 6 years on this team. And they love her back for exactly that. Point scoring machine. Crystal Rivers overcomes some incredible things to build such a beautiful career. A lot of respect. Big pickup and the drop. Comes Antropova looking for a touch in the backcourt. Gaspari will ask for it. That ball looked like it was flying towards the coach. He certainly touched it. Well, the question we're looking for here now is, as we do have a challenge, an official challenge been called, whether or not there was a touch. Certainly for a touch is the call, but are they looking for a touch in the front court or the back court? It's kind of cool that all the viewers sitting right behind the referee station are going to employ their own referee skills. Anyone who ever wanted to be a couch commentator, that's the seat for you. Right behind the screens, and you can, I'm trying to tell from the eyes and the reactions of the fans in the background if they give us any kind of indication as to whether or not there was a touch. Savino Luca is giving us absolutely nothing. Let's have a look again. We can all form our own highly uninformed opinions. I think the final decision is yes, there was a touch. I think I did see a little pinky moving there, but we're all an expert from a million miles away once we have all the technology and the slow motion cameras. Here's the kind of things you could get away with back in the day. Not anymore. Up to serve then to get us rolling again. Carol, the 33-year-old middle blocker of Brazil. You'll know her well if you've been watching the Olympics at all in the last decade. Silver in Tokyo, bronze in Paris. And a big swing from Bajima. That's a tough read from Ognjanovic. Watch the footwork. That ball, as she leaves her hands, could be going to the middle or the outside, and that's what makes her so tough to play against. So fun to play with, I would imagine. Another player fun to play with, Crystal Rivers, the point scoring machine. I mentioned that she had 26 points in their opener against the Polish side. Look at that, tagging the end line. Pretty much perfect over the block. Doesn't get better than that. Little snap. Called out. We've got another challenge immediately. Gaspari saying that one is in. I believe this is the second challenge. The first one was won. The rule stands that if you challenge and you win it, you get to keep it. So there's another one. That ball squarely on the line. That ball should be overturned and given back to Scandicci. That's a great swing from the middle, and I like Ognjanovic using her middle whenever she can. She's gone a couple of times. Already early days, and yeah, establishing that zone, establishing that part of her offense is what's going to make it really difficult going down the stretch. Because already the blockers are kind of focusing in on Antropova, on Herbots on the outside, so opening up that middle channel, get some of the blockers out of their face. That's what I'm saying to do. Antropova, one ace serve already on the board. Looks for another one. That's a couple times she's gotten the overpass as well. That's pretty much as good as a point. It's either a free ball for her side, or there you go, just an immediate point after probably the center backcourt trying to attack it, trying to do something with it. 14-11 lead, Scandicci starting to spread their wings. Great pickup from Castillo, quick to the middle again, and this time the change of direction. Speed and alacrity from Bajens. That is the picture-perfect volleyball move right there. Just too quick, beating the other side. And with that, we have our first timeout.
Make the last ball here, off the net, that we can play. That goes, yeah? Keep fighting, it's a lot of fun stuff, yeah?
Beautiful reaction, a replay of that 1 point. Just how quick you're able to turn that ball, transition to another option. Oh, another ace serve. Katerina Andropova taking no prisoners from the end line. Taking out a little bit of aggression. Didn't have so much success in the front court. It's the back court now. Power, speed, targeting the center of the court. Easy pickup chance to use the middle again. And she will. Saved as Bajema gets a second touch on it, but I'm loving the connection here. Ognjenovic really trying to force that issue. Get her middle firing all day long. Bajens. It up.
Now like this, you can take sheer off. Hey,
The timeout
we don't have a
immediately.
good stop. They have a round to serve now. We just need to get from one side out back and keep working the same we do. There is a lot possible.
I love that we have the microphones in the timeout so we can really hear what's going on between the coaches and the players. And Konstantin Bitter calling that back-to-back timeout. He's really trying to get in the mind of a Katerina Andropova. It wasn't to give so much of a strategy or a tactic to his players, but really wants to force her to slow down her arm. Let's see if it works. Rivers goes off the hands. That'll do nicely. Well-timed timeout then. Sometimes we give that just directly to the coach. If your team gets a point after your coach has just called a timeout, just it's immediately the coach's point. There you go. Well done, Konstantin Bitter. Nice aggression there from Rivers. She'll touch it in the backcourt too. Comes off the low ceiling. That's an unfortunate situation there for Stuttgart. They are in their home gym, so they know how high the ceilings are, but you're at a disadvantage if you want to play a high defense. I believe the ceilings in Germany, and this might just be my imagination, but I believe they're lower standard than in Italy. Check that. Double check my facts on that, but I've played in both leagues, and that's just my sensation. Those are the vibes that I have. Trust the vibes, right? 18-13, Scandicci in the lead. Rivers off the block and plenty of time for a cover. Looked like Segura was hoping, wishing, dreaming, maybe trying to blow that thing out, but great block. Bajens contributing massively to this first set for Scandicci. Alma right back at her. Two of them, both Dutch national team players. Alma adding a point there for Scandicci to try and pick back up. No need. Point in the net. Or ball in the net, I should say. Point in the pocket for Scandicci. Now, things going pretty much according to plan for the Italian side. A 20-14 lead. That's going to be a tough ask for Scandicci to return, especially with some big blocking action like that. Herbott's known typically for her serving, her attacking, but how about add a block in there as well? Low and tight, one-on-one. Carol's looking, I'm not even in it. Doesn't matter. Work done. Well touched by Carol. Coming back. Just wide from Antropova. So Stuttgart keeping themselves point for point. There's that touch I'm talking about. Carol slowing the ball down just enough for Castillo to get on it. Antropova taken in the defense. She's on the floor with an excellent shot. Nolema again this time. And here's a great tactic if you're playing against a team that has someone like Antropova. Even if that had been a great defense that was up and playable, she's out. She's on the floor. So that's a great strategy from Stuttgart. Targeting the libero in the reception, maybe not such a strategy. The response, one time, two time. Quick to Carol in the middle to change of direction as well. She gets that ball coming from the right side, changes to the left. Herbots rolls it down the line. Nolema responding. Oh, what a defense, sitting in the pocket. And again, the run down this time. Two players on the floor. Antropova off the hands and the defense. I love watching volleyball from that back angle. And if you're a volleyball player, you probably do most of your watching of video from that angle because you get to see the spread of the ball, where the offense goes, and you got a perfect shot of how Britt was just sitting there between those two blockers, picking up that defense. Go to work to convert another point from the service line, and that, my friends, brings up our set point, our first of the match for Scandicci, 24-16. Herbots with ball spin. Big rip of a serve. Cross court. Ooh, Rivers keeps it in play. Gaspari gives her flowers there. Says no need for a challenge. That was indeed in the court. Nolema out. Antonia Stauch, the 30-year-old German outside hitter, in for the serve. It's still set point. And now it is set, done, and dusted. Scandicci probably not even playing their very, very best volleyball, but looking pretty smooth and comfortable here against the German side. Another look at that final ball. Good, well handled by Bajman. Quick to the middle again. That's the strategy, paying off dividends in these difficult moments. It is almost impossible for the blockers of Scandicci, of Stuttgart, excuse me, to know where that ball is going. If that's passed perfectly, which it was by Bajma, Maja Ognjenovic just having a field day. So there's confirmation. There is the score line, 25-17. First set goes the way of the Italian side. Here's a look at some of the stats then. In terms of blocks, 3-2, 2 aces, and 3 errors apiece. So you're not going to see much there, but what we will tell you is that Scandicci are delivering and executing on the game plan.
ausverkauftes Haus, saubere Sache. Danke bei 2200 die Zuschauer, die jetzt mit Sicherheit den zweiten Satz wieder Gas geben. Und vielleicht können wir das Momentum mal rüber wechseln auf diesen zweiten Satz. Auf geht's für Allianz MTV Stuttgart.
Well, a good start for both sides here in Pool E of the Champions League. However, Stuttgart lost their first match, as we mentioned, to the Polish side of the name that I cannot pronounce, and Scandicci won theirs against the Romanian side. So a pretty important match here for Stuttgart if they want to stay in the conversation of going forward from pool play. Scandicci, on the other hand, going to be looking to take every single point. Oh my goodness, I love them. Is that Crystal Rivers on a scarf? I need one of them for my wardrobe immediately. Tell me the link to get it. Oh, Konstantin Bitter will have a lot of things to say to his team in the timeout in between sets. But right now, it's all about responding. Set number 2 underway. And Scandicci with the first serve. Ognjenovic has to defend it right back. And Antropova finally dialing it in after a couple of errors in the first set in terms of swings. A couple in the block, couple out now. Straight down to the court. Ognjenovic on the serve. Finds the libero, Skello. Kellerman has been one of the go-tos for Stuttgart's side all match long. She played in Firenze previously as well. Good heads-up play there from Antropova. Airbots unleashing some speed. Pick up in the defense. Back to Antropova. This time a tip gets bodies on the floor. This song reminds me of playing in Germany circa 2012. What a vibe. What a time to be alive. UK is throwing all the old school beats at us. Barbra Streisand style, Crystal Rivers style, straight to the middle back of the court. Set. Can't get it done. Now, some things to watch out for in this match in particular. What's the serving strategy for both these two teams? I'm always curious about who the target is because you'll see it develop over the match. It's more obvious maybe in beach volleyball, but here Scandicci, for example, have been going after the number 3, Maria Segura Paredes. The Spanish outside hitter. This time she handles the ball really well. Gets that ball straight back. 2 blockers in front of her. It's too quick. Finds that deep corner. Reverse. She's floating it on Bajema. And that is an ace serve for Stuttgart. Clean as a whistle. Rivers, her first of the night. But we know she likes a high, sort of a flat serve deep onto the shoulder of Bajema. That's her target and has been all match long. What a defense. Segura coming in. That's defended. Back to Rivers in the pipe, and she finds the hole. Blockers and defense going one way, she swings the other. Rivers was the MVP of the German Super Cup this year, as well as the German Cup last year. She's won this German league 4 times. She is bringing a wealth of experience to her side. How about another stuff block on Antropova? That one comes with a little extra sauce. If you get to shut down an Olympic gold medalist, boy, does that feel good. That ball's so far inside. So I'm just looking at the inside arm of the middle blocker right there. Number 14, Kelsey Veltman, enjoying that advantage. Targeting Bajema again. Free ball opportunity. Stuttgart is in the lead. Will they keep it? Comes Antropova, and she'll look for just the center of the court, and that's enough. Doesn't look like she's finding exactly her footing or where she wants to pull the full power, but that's a great rundown from Bajema, and look how far inside the court Antropova has to go. Stuttgart keep themselves in the lead, and by 2. A solid swing by Segura. Segura Paredes was the best server of the German league last season, or excuse me, in 2023. That one's pretty solid. But nevertheless, Herbots stepping in, putting that ball right on the head of the setter. And you know what that means. Options, options, and more options for Miss Maja Ognjenovic. Bajema, does she nail it? Does she get it? Another ace serve. This one going to the American. Finding that corridor of communication between the 2 players. This time handled by Costello. Oh, good pickup. Kept alive on the Scandicci side. Another try, that'll do. Julien Nolima, best outside of the world champs, under 21 back in 2021. Catches. Vikings floating, flying. Veltman, Canadian middle blocker at 28 years old, finds the end line. There's the tip, picked up. Chance behind. Do we find a tip or a touch? Scandicci saying no. We have a challenge here. Now, the only person who could have touched it there was Britt Herbots, and I saw her pretty emphatically that she hadn't touched it. Nevertheless, Konstantin Bitter will give us a second look. And Sinisa Ovuka will look sternly at the screen, as will all the fans in the background. Now, on first instinct, I didn't see a touch there, and I know Britt pretty well. We played together back in Mulhouse in France, and she'll tend to tell the truth, especially knowing that there's cameras all over the place. I don't think she's going to waste her time trying to convince anyone otherwise. Yep, I think that those visuals would agree. No touch. Point stays with Scandicci. I didn't think that I had heard the referee. I didn't think I had heard the referee's whistle. However, Scandicci was ready to serve before the music was even off. That, well, could have been out, could have been in. It doesn't matter. It's a reserve. Oh, what a pickup. Chance for Knolema to do what she's been doing all night long. And that's go off the fingertips and out of bounds. That's a great scramble there. Herbot's getting a full, clean arm underneath it. No arguments. Except from her coach, Marco Gasperi, potentially. Ooh, Carol into the corner pocket. Count it. Scandicci now back on even Stevens grounds with Stuttgart. Quick middle, and it's the speed that beats the block. Lucia Varela Gomez, the Spanish middle blocker, only 21 years old. Rips one to the side. Stuttgart back on top. Janovic finding Herbots. Goes off the block, gets it back again. Cross court is Doug. Chance for a big stuff block from Carol, and that will do it. Carol, one of the best blockers, not only in this competition, but in the world, and has been at the VNL best blocker in 2022, in 2024 as well. DJ's having way too much fun out there with this song from Maria Segura Paredes. Lucia Varela Gomez on the line to serve. She's targeting Herbots. Cross court, not gonna fly. Big stuff. Rivers teaming up with Veltman. Low, tight, that is an absolute shutout. Timeout called. Scandicci feeling the pressure here. Stuttgart back at it, 12-11. No, too long from Carol. So we're tied again. Or are we? It looks like, I thought it was going to be 11-13 as well. That's what the back, there we go. Score corrected. So a couple of errors trading back and forth. Remember, there were pretty low errors in the first set, only 3 apiece. One of the highlights for both teams. And Topova. 2 aces already in the bag and several opportunities given as a free ball for her team. So it's not always just getting that straight ace, it's sometimes getting a simple ball back to your side. So your team can do exactly that. A big swing from the backcourt, and it's handbots with almost a free net, and that, my friends, is a string of words you don't want to hear if you're on the other side. Tied up 13s. Great pick up there. Rivers looking for touches, none given. We will have a timeout. Scandicci find themselves back on top, but just by one.
This reception is great. We are in the middle of the court, we can play. Your tip is just you need to go more here, not here. And on top of that, put me out, yeah? That's okay. One ball up, nice ball.
Interesting that Coach Konstantin Bitter in his timeout. Now he is German-Swiss, Swiss-German, whatever, however you want to say it, but he's speaking in English in his timeouts, and I find that interesting. He does have a couple of Dutch players, some USA, some from Canada, Belgium, but typically you'll find coaches just speaking in the language of that country, and the players just have to learn it. That's certainly the case in Italy. Throw, and Stuttgart back in a good position. Segura Paredes making some action. Paredes, three-time German League winner, also has a CEV Cup silver medal from 2022. What's that with Stuttgart? Been a long time player for this side, since 2020 in fact. Serve, but the tip is no good. Great pickup from the Spanish outside. There's Antropova on the floor. Middle blockers can move. Defense good. High ball to the outside. Too tight. Tip doesn't fall either. Rivers, another tip. These don't look like purposeful tips. They look like no other options kind of tips. And that one, nowhere else to go but straight into the block. Stuttgart causing some upset tummy on Scandicci's side. Asprey looking ever so worried. And that will not help unless you are a Stuttgart fan. Big ace serve from Maria Segura Paredes. Shot again on the outside. And the serve causing all sorts of trouble now on Scandicci's side. Popova looking just for the end line, ever so slight. Goes long, and it's 17-14. Stuttgart back on top. Scandicci were fully in control of the first set. Not the case anymore. Bajima tight into the hands of the blockers, gets another chance. Well picked up. On the outside, there's the tip roll. Antropova all over it. Another fastball, this time the speed. And you can see it perfectly from that angle. Captured by our camera crew. The speed of that ball from Ognjenovic is what beats the blockers. And that's why Bajima able to have some success there. Got a substitution. Anna Kotikova in to serve. 25-year-old Russian outside hitter. Nolma having some fun on the outside with the angle. European champs, bronze medalist from 2023. sneaking it underneath the arms of her fellow Dutch player on the other side. Doug gets that free ball back. There's the roll down the line from Herbots. That's not enough. Free, deep over Antropova, and some struggle in the middle. There's the cover, and the ball is up. And that's enough for Scandicci. Great work there by Brenda Castillo, the 32-year-old Dominican libero. You thought the ball was down. Nope. Pancake is up. And another opportunity to swing catches the two German players. Neither of them actually German, but playing for the German team catches them off guard. Janovic looks for Herbots, gets her. Crystal finds one right back, not to the floor just yet. Excellent middles defense. That one counts for 2. High ball. Bajans on the set. Oh, what a scoopy dig from Costello. But it does not pay off. Scandicci having to work overtime to keep Stuttgart at bay. Year-old Bajans played last season in Schwerin in Germany. Made her way over to Italy. Just the way that ball made its way over to the floor. Super simple, little freebie, little floater. Starts with the pickup offense. Boop. Point for Italy.
That's all. I just ask you, everybody to act. That's it. And then we help each other. We go now for the next ball. It doesn't matter that it dropped down. We just go one more. Hey, in attack, if you're not in the window, be more patient. We have a lot of good defense balls and we get a new chance.
Oh, what a play. What a rally that was. And it's not over yet. 18-18. Both these teams having to bust out everything they have, and that's one of them. An ace serve from Scandicci. Comes from Miss Indy Bajans, her first ace of the match. Former player in Poland, also in Mulhouse, France. Same place where Britt Herbots got her start. The high risk, high reward serve. Go for an ace, get an error. It's pretty much par for the course. Nana Božić puts Scandicci in a difficult position, but Katarina Antropova gets him out of it. That ball could have been going long. Not sure if there was a touch on it at the net. It looked like it was fairly out of bounds, if I'm being honest. I'm always being honest. What am I talking about? All right, Stuttgart still in it from a scramble. Too much speed, Carol, right through the middle. And that's the way to use the middle to your advantage. So it's a really kind of a tricky little spot here, right? Like everyone's scrambling from Stuttgart's side, and Ognjenovic knowing Rivers has basically just got back to the net. Not enough time. How about that for not enough time? Speed on speed. There are multiple ways you can beat your opponent. One of them is with height, another is with power. One of my personal favorites is speed. Just get there faster. Get there before the block is able to move. Herbots uses a little bit of everything. Power, that's a given. Height, she's got those hops. And then speed to get to the ball and get on it faster than the blocker's hands are set up and in position. The fans in the background, big fan of the Herbot spin. You know, she's been perfecting that year after year. It just gets better and better every year. Crystal Rivers perfecting her craft as well, and that inside shot, that angle, absolutely indefensible unless you're sitting on it waiting. Targeting Herbots in the serve now. Again, we talked about it earlier on, the strategies changing, shifting as the match progresses. They were looking for Bajima earlier on, now the focus on Herbots in the reception. Either way, Antropova filing one down. Line drive. And the pipe. Get it involved all day long. It's Madeline Robinson who's just joined us in the match, the 24-year-old American outside hitter. Goes heavy off the hands and out of bounds, targeting the block. It is 23-22 Stuttgart. With Crystal Rivers, who already has an ace, doesn't get one this time. Finds Brenda Castillo instead. And that will bring up one set point for Scandicci. Remember, just moments ago, Stuttgart were up by 2 points, 3 points. They had a hold of this set. Scandicci said, that's not going to happen. They have brought themselves back up to set point. And how about that with a big stuff block? All it took was one set point. And Scandicci closed the door. Big thanks to Emma Graziani brought in for that block. Watch the movement here. She's got eyes on the ball, comes back to the middle. That one actually belonging to Bajima. But the combination between those two saying daylight out. Stuttgart working so hard to get themselves in a position to take on Scandicci and to have that set. They will be kicking themselves. But they let the Italians back into the match, because now it's a 2-0 lead. Now that's difficult. Obviously, completely doable. You've seen it before. A reverse sweep is not uncommon. 25-17, 25-22, that's how it happened so far. There's a lot of work for Stuttgart to do. Are they ready to do it? Here's what's happened in the second set. Pretty similar in terms of attacks, but Scandicci went way down. Remember, they had 18 attacks in the first. They also had pretty similar in the blocks. That nothing's changed there, but the aces, 2-1. That is a big step up for Stuttgart. And then the errors as well. Stuttgart gave up 13 errors. That is pretty much where they lost it, if you're asking me. Everything else pretty much on par. Scandicci coming back from the dead in set number 2 to overtake Stuttgart, who came out firing and it finished as 25-22. The first set pretty much was in the bag all set long for Scandicci. That was what they were hoping for. That was their goal. However, credit to them for coming back and taking that second set. Scandicci, however, or Stuttgart, I should say, will be feeling a little disappointed after not being able to close that one out. I wonder what Coach Konstantin Bitter will have said to his players in the timeout, in the in-between. Probably something along the lines of, hey, we know we can hang with this team. Let's continue with our strategy point for point. See what comes of it. Set number 3 underway. Stuttgart with the first serve. And Scandicci on the right in the white. It's the blue team to get the first blood. Crystal Rivers, who's been a big part of the offensive strategy for Stuttgart, continues to do so. And look at her attacking style. She rips that ball out of the air. Line drive to Bajima. Ball kept in play. High again to Rivers, and she'll go OT. KROT all day long. Right, I might be exaggerating. Maybe it wasn't over the top, but it was a very good looking attack straight past the blockers. This time it's Castillo on the receiving end of some tough serving. Carol, former player in Turkey, Brazil before that. Oh, what a scoop from Herbots. That's a freebie. Going again, this time tipped through the middle, passed back to the German side. Two-handed throw from Rivers. That's dug from the middle blocker, Carol. Ball still in play. Another defensive effort, and finally, the ball dies on the Italian side with a 3-1 lead for the home team. They are having to work and work. Nothing coming for free. There's that CEV crest on the shoulder of all the players. Means a little something extra than when you're just playing at home in your domestic league. The chance to compete in the international level, highly regarded as one of the best career opportunities for these players. Chance to see and be seen. Lots of chance for a team like Stuttgart to play against a team like Scandicci. Scandicci closed the gap back to 3-3. It's off the arm. Again, a cheeky little dump from Bajima. That's a couple times she's just been ready at the net to make something happen. Oh, heat undeniable from Antropova. And that will be her third official ace on the scoreboard. Several serves have gone her way this match. It has a lot to do with that precision. It's not all power. She is putting that ball exactly where she wants it. Top spin, going for the corner that time, just out of bounds. Coach Gaspari knows with risk comes reward, and vice versa. Not always getting aces. Sometimes that ball will travel out of bounds. Some players have the green light to go for it. Antropova is certainly one of them. Bajema off hands. Bajema played last season in Milano, incidentally, with coach Marco Gasperi. She's also played for Jakarta. Before that, she was in Vakiv Bank, in Rzeszów, Poland, in Kazamajore. Graduated from Washington University in the USA. Segura looking for Bajema, high on the shoulders. Oh, that will do nicely, Miss Herbutz. Closing it up, absolutely no daylight in that block. Watch how far over the net she is. That's a great angle to see it as well. It's not how high you get, it's how far you reach your arms into the opponent's court and the strength of your shoulders. A lot that goes into a good block. That's pretty much textbook. Off hands, out of bounds. Carol with a bit of joy. She has not been used as frequently in the offense. There was a string of points there where Ognjenovic was really utilizing her middle, but that's what I love about watching a setter like Ognjenovic. She will pull the strings. She's a puppet master and get the blockers following the middle, point after point, and then go completely away from it, and then way back to it. And then 3 points in a row somewhere else, and you just never know. You just cannot follow that pattern. Whereas right now, Stuttgart pretty consistently going to Rivers. An ace serve on the board. Count it for Stuttgart. Too many S's over here. Elsie Veldman, Canadian middle blocker, played last season in Serbia. Goes for another one, floats it. Herbutz handles that beautifully on the second time of asking. Oh, defense play in. Continue the ball up. Oh, Rivers again underneath it. Herbutz tries again, that time. Block slows it down on the outside. It is a big stuffed block from Carol. Tough to tell from that angle. Watch the movement. She is calling it before she even gets there, pointing over there, and it's low, it's tight. Arms are saying nope. That's the net, in fact, that does the damage. Short ball on Segura. And Rivers follows suit in the net. Remember, in the second set, the errors were what cost this team. 13 errors. Scandicci stole from Stuttgart. It has to be in the back of their mind to keep those balls and those points. You have to force Scandicci to earn their points. Herbutz read like a book. Oh, there's the angle. There is the absolute slice from Antropova. But it all starts with the defense. Watch Herbutz. She's not even on your screen.
Go where to go. You need to take more risk of blocking and take angles. This ball and never go down. Go and dive for that.
Setter Milana Bosic played in Wiesbaden last season, getting a little extra conversation from her coaches. Trying to figure out where it's open, who are the blockers, who's focusing on what. There's a lot of thinking happening on those setters' brains. Rivers, dug by Castillo. Herbots gets a tight one, and she gets herself out of the sticky mud. That's one of her specialties, I have to say. Herbots, she'll get a high ball. She'll clean up that junk. I mean, that ball is so tight. Traditionally, that should be an advantage to the blockers, but it's not. She just finds ways to be so physically present, yet still keep her body out of the net. It's so impressive to watch. Nolima, another player that's been on the rise. The blockers now kind of just focusing on Rivers and Nolima. That's going to be the strategy for Scandicci going forward. You can kind of let that middle zone be free. We're seeing a whole lot of action there. So a 12-8, Scandicci back in the lead by 4 points. After a little bit of a dip in the second set. Stuttgart will be happy to see Herbots off the line. That brings up Nolima at the line. Bajima, that's been one of the go-tos. Oh, Rivers again. She is an absolute beast on the right side. Pretty much anywhere, let's be honest, not just the right side. We've seen her a lot from the back court, but gets off the block, gives herself enough space. And she has extremely long limbs. She can turn that ball down towards the right side and avoid the block. Beautifully done. Herbots with the response. Keep Scandicci up. They have 3 at advantage. Question is, can they get this done in 3? Or does Stuttgart have other ideas about this Champions League match? Tough serve, make it an ace. Carroll. Low and flat. Absolute dominant serve from the Brazilian. Known for her blocking, but hey, how about an ace too? She's a 3-time VNL silver medalist. Knows the power of a good serve as a middle blocker herself. A tough serve gets the team out of system. There it is, another one. Makes it so much easier for the blockers and the defense to get in position. And for Pavard. Can't get past the block again, and it falls down by the snail trail in the backcourt. There's the snail trail. Britt Herbots just kind of sneaking across the floor there, leaving a little mark of excellence. Sweat proves that you're working hard. Oh, an ace serve, just a clip of the arms in the backcourt. Lucia Varela Gomez finds her first ace. Last season in Quimper in France. Before that, spent some time in Novara. He's targeting Karabajima. And another stuff block. Stuttgart are not going quietly. Veltman, best blocker of the German League in 2021, says absolutely will you not pass. Timeout called.
Off the net. Gotta watch out with that ball. They are really organized with the block, especially with the timing. So or you work high, or you try to work 1-6. Okay, the solution of roll shot is correct. Attenzione perché non è finito niente, Queste vanno in battuta e tirano. The number 6 is the best passer. So we have to work against libero and position. Vai.
13 serving 14 after an ace serve and a timeout. And Gomez do it again. Oh, yes, she can. The Spanish middle blocker going for the jugular. She was the best middle of the French Cup in 2024. A lot to do with this serve as well. We're tied up at 14s. Goes for Herbots one last time. This time it stays in play. Defense in the backcourt, led by Antonia Stouts. Quick to Antropova, off the block she goes. But she returns the favor with some big hands at the net. Great timing there, good conversation, because you saw the middle blocker kind of got there, waited, then threw arms over. Antropova back to the line. She has already 3 aces. Will she get another? Oh, it might not go down as an ace. There were 2 touches on it, but in my book, that's an ace serve. That ball is not coming back her way. Again, this is what Antropova does so well, whether it's an actual ace or she just puts the other team in a complete shambles or gets the free ball back for her side. That's what she's been doing all match long. It happens to be with some topspin. Going straight down the middle of the court. Oh, great D. 2 times. Does it land? Just out of bounds. Ooh, Stuttgart a little bit lucky there. Watch it again. Oh, I'm so curious to see that. That could very, very well have tagged a bit of the line. We don't see a challenge. I almost feel it's worth it. On we go. 3-point for Gasperi nevertheless. Kovac in for the serve. Former Le Cannet player. And another run down from Herbots, but it's not enough. And Stuttgart creeping their way to stay very close with Scandicci. There's the roll from the Spanish outside hitter. And utilizing all her strengths, all the tools in her kit. Who will be the target? Herbots was for a little while there. Nope. Heading on to the libero Castillo. That's probably not where I would be serving. The last place you want to serve is the libero. Stuttgart pay the price. 2-point spread now for Scandicci. Tip stays in play. And again, 3 players looking, asking questions of each other. That's happened a few too many times on Scandicci's side. Someone makes a great defense. And the other players are not sure. That's just a communication thing that, of course, it's still pretty early in the season, but these teams have played at least 6, 7 matches together. A lot of them returners as well. Herbots, Konjanovic, Carroll, they are all returners from last season for Scandicci. Plenty of time to practice with each other. A 2017 lead, looking a little smoother now, our Scandicci. Right on cue, a timeout.
Take over the responsibility. Just play. Don't look. Is she coming? Is she not? Make a step. Make a step. You make the first step. You make also the second step. It's 3 3 points. We are all the set coming back for 3 points. Up, down, up, down. Do it one more time and then we go. Go, go, go.
I'm always curious about what coaches say in the timeout, because I've had many a coach over my long-lived career, 10 years playing pro, and I always think the best coaches give me really tangible bits of information. They tell me something that I can use when I go in, like she's blocking line on you, or make sure you tip here, or you've got an open spot there. Something you can focus on. I never liked the coaches that just say, hey, come on, let's do better. I just kind of think, all right, we're all trying to do better. Great pickup from Castillo. That's the communication right there that Scandicci need more of. Just stepping in, taking up your role. The lead advances to 5 for Scandicci. The window of opportunity closing point by point if you're a Stuttgart fan. Well handled, Knolema on the reception. Rivers from the pipe. She continues her dominance from pretty much anywhere on the court. We mentioned it from the right side. And I mean, look at that. Carol is doing what Carol does, taking up a lot of space, and it looks as if she's just got no one in front of her. Angles that Rivers able to find are phenomenal. Pass ball coming behind to the go-to player. Yes, indeed. And she'll tag that end line. Watch the work that Rivers has to do. She's way inside and finds herself just enough space. Gap closes to 3. Airbutts all alone on the right side. Looks over to the ref or to her coach, says nope, no challenge necessary. And I appreciate that in a player, and I'm sure coaches do too. Do not ask for a challenge unless you're sure.
Siamo troppo statici, better the feet, ok? Teniamo una ricezione morbida in modo che anche il centrale c'è. Detto questo, la transizione, opzioniamo dietro, aspettiamo a saltare perché lei vede che se siamo in anticipo lavora in extra rotazione, se siamo in ritardo va sulla diagonale. Ok, con pazienza, lasciamo tutto quello che fare.
So here's a stark difference in the timeouts, right? You're listening to Gaspari, and it's in Italian, so I can give you only bits and pieces, but he's saying, you know what's going to work? The short serve on the middle. You're going to watch out. You're going to want to wait to jump on certain players. You're going to, if you're late, they're attacking a diagonal. He's given really tangible pieces of information that they have already discussed in their video session. So it's just repetition, but he's just talking about what they can do and what they can use, and one of them being that sharp cross for Antropova. She's able to focus on that and get herself the point, get her team the point. It's 23-20. Oh, what a pickup. Ball looks for the hands. Does it find them? Looks like there won't be a need for a Carol admitting to the touch. So it is not set point. It's reversed. Kind of, you appreciate the honesty out there. No need to slow things down. Especially if you're in Scandicci's shoes. You don't want to give any extra time for Stuttgart to gather their thoughts and their energy and their breath even. Quick swing from Carol in the middle, that's blocked. But sent straight back, and that one is exactly what Carol needed. Get that motivation and that energy straight back up. Carol finds herself serving at set point, match point for Stuttgart. Ball stays in play. Knollema receives it. Rivers, of course, gets this ball. She is blocked. 2 touches, not enough. Scandicci get to 25 first, and that means they have taken the set with it. They take the match. A well-fought effort from the German side, but eventually not enough against this Scandicci team. Strong serve and fast offense is what you get out of Scandicci, a well-oiled machine. There's confirmation of those scores, 25-17, 25-22. Now remember, that was the set that Stuttgart almost had a chance. And that final result. The replay of the final point, how it all went down. It doesn't tell the whole story. What does tell you something is how about Katarina Antropova getting MVP thanks to those enormous number of ace serves that she had. I've got it written down as 4. I think one of them may not have been counted as an ace, but she was dominant from the end line. It took a little while to really rein in that attack. However, just aggressive from all areas where these two teams. Have a look at this. Stuttgart with the most amount of blocks, 8-6. And you got the aces almost on par there as well. Errors is where it got lost for me. 20 errors for Stuttgart, whereas Scandicci kept theirs to just 12. Now, if you think about that in the context of each set, if each set you're losing by, say, 5 points, you cut down, you got 20 errors. That's pretty much what the sets were lost by. So Scandicci were putting pressure from the end line. They were making it really tough to play. That is what they do. This is a team full of Olympians, full of elite level professional players. And of course, before we do anything further, we get the selfie della vittoria, the victory selfie for Scandicci.
Okay, Katarina, congratulations, big win. What was the key today?
Thank you. For sure we knew that Stuttgart is going to be a hard team to play against because we saw them in Champions League for several years, and now we finally had a chance to play them. The key was not to let your Stuttgart team play their game and try to work our best block defense, which we tried to do, and at the end it paid off. Also, our serve receive was also great, so that was the key, I guess.
How was the atmosphere for you playing here?
Absolutely incredible. I want to ask your DJ for some playlist recommendations because the crowd is really great and the crowd work. And I see that people support a lot your team, and that's just great to see.
Thank you.
Sono basso io.
Some lovely words there from Katerina Antropova with her 4 aces on the night, a big part of the win here for Scandicci. Well, next weekend, Champions League Pool E match for Stuttgart will be in Romania versus CSO Voluntari on the 27th of this month. And Scandicci will head to this Polish team that I can't pronounce, BKS Bostik CGO Bielsko Biała in Poland on the same day. So make sure you tune in to those matches. But for now, from all of us at the CEV Champions League, thanks so much for watching. Congratulations to Scandicci. My name's Key Michael, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Allen einen schönen Abend. Gemeinsam starten.